I just had a phone call with someone who represents the office of one of the state mental health ministers. As always, I'm protecting the nice people who are giving it time and care. I'm only going to be putting the details of the dickheads on here. Now, this call was positive and negative for me. The person was amazing, lovely, and I can tell that they care. This person explained to me about the bilateral agreements that are happening within the states, which were in a couple of the emails I had. I think a couple of different MPs within WA and South Australia had responded. Side note, I have written to every state's MPs and I have received responses from every state except, wait for it, dun, 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 Victoria and Northern Territory. So, 6 out of our 8 states and territories have replied. Victoria does not surprise me. Northern Territory was still fresh and may still reply because a few of them are taking, 2 or 3 months to reply. So this person who I was speaking with was explaining about these bilateral agreements, which are based on research and passed on to the leaders. Because I pointed out to this person that within our 8 states and territories and the national level, so we got 8 states and territories, the national level and their national assistant, so that's 10 human beings with the title of, being, mental health, suicide prevention, right? These leaders, ACT, Rachel Stephen Smith, economics background. WA, Meredith Hammett, politics, industrial relations background. NSW, Rose Jackson, law and economics background. Queensland, Shannon Fentiman, law. South Australia, Chris Picton, BA in law. Northern Territory, Steve, is it Edgington? Was a cop. Victoria, Ingrid Stitt, environmental, low income, education. And Tassie, English, political science, international affairs, education. National, that was Bridget Archer. National, Mark Butler, international relations, theory of law, and of course his trusted assistant Emma McBride, in pharmaceuticals. So they're our leaders in mental health at a state and national level, not one in even health, let alone mental health and suicide prevention. So, whatever their intentions are, they don't have any knowledge, background in it. So a lot of the time when I'm talking about trauma to these people, they're responding about mental health. They're just throwing it in. This is what we're doing for mental health with people with lived experience. So this woman was lovely and she was telling me about all the lived experience and stuff. And the way she was explaining it sounded to me like it's trauma related. And but when you actually go in, it's not. It's all aspects of mental health, like mental health, drug abuse, alcoholism, problems in the community, social this, social that. And it's like, that's mental health. Trauma is specific. Trauma and CPTSD need to be put on the map. So I want to have a look at these agreements in better detail because there are a lot of plans and strategies that have been recently implemented at state and national level that she said she was proud of but she couldn't talk about. And when I questioned it, she said it was, yes, plans based on things that have been passed on from people such as myself. And then they are starting to understand the mind-body connection and things like that. And, that doctors are needing more education around mental health and trauma. So they've got plans in place. But what she went on to tell me is they need more people like me with the lived experience because these leaders, the ones I mentioned, are the ones implementing the policies based on research given to them. And that research is done by experts who are reading in textbooks, and they need now as much lived experience as they can. So I'm going to reach out to everyone who has trauma, CPTSD, untreated trauma of some sort. Look up in your state for the local government lived experience mental health programs, training hubs. Because if you can volunteer and give your input, those are the voices that are getting passed on to the leaders. So they need more of us to do that for the changes that I'm talking about. If we don't tell them what we need, we can't get it, because it's going to be all these other people in the textbook, right? So we need to get our lived experience out there. Anyone who wants to share their story, please comment on the videos. If you don't want your details, shoot me an email. Because as you've seen, when I read them out, I'm only outing dickheads. Anyone who needs help, wants their voice, or anyone who's trying to help, like this lady, I'm not going to say who it is or where they're from. That's putting people in danger. It's disrespecting, someone's boundaries and privacy, who is trying to do the right thing. And I just want to make sure everyone has a voice and is heard. It gives me a little bit of hope for the future that there's people out there advocating like that. But we are 30 years behind the rest of the world. It needs neuroscience. We need everyone with lived experience to have the understanding. Because what's going on is people with lived experience are going out, going, this is what happens, this is what happens. And they want more awareness in the communities. And they want more programs and services. But so many people with trauma aren't understanding their own physical illnesses that are connected to their trauma. So many people with trauma just accept the fact that they've got, irritable bowel disease or fibromyalgia or fatigue or, fucking whatever it is. And they just can't connect the two. There needs to be the education out there so that people are understanding that they don't just need to get psychological help and emotional support, that they need physical rewiring. They need physical neuroplasticity, which is the rewiring. They need safety. They need treatment on damage, They need natural healing. So while I'm happy that these services are in place, they're not enough. We've got people advocating it as mental health, but really what we need is people advocating trauma, just trauma, somatic symptoms, getting, these centers and these retreats that help our nervous system, getting those accessible, getting GPs off our medications, and getting more of a calming sort of setting in clinical, you know what I mean? So while I'm happy that it's happening and it's a small road to success, A, it doesn't cover everything, and B, it's not going to be in my fucking time. It wouldn't even be in the time of, if I had a kid. So I don't know what to do, because the fighter in me wants to just take this on. The fighter in me wants to go to those lived experience, give my 2 cents, and start a fucking campaign to move these types of programs into more trauma focus for real, into more neuroscience focus. I want to go to these places and get them to get people like me, traveling the fucking country in a bus or something, educating kids at school about the trauma that they have in their body and the services and the things that are available to them, so that they don't end up like me. That sounds great, but the reality is I can't. I'm out here with health deteriorating, mental health deteriorating. I don't have a car. I don't have money. I can't be in the sensory or the civilization. I can't live with people. I can't even get a GP. I've been trying to get the tests that I need, and I'm like, I've got I've got 2 MRI referrals and a hematologist, but I can't afford them. I can't go and do the things that I need because I don't have the money to. And I'm in the process of rehoming my pets. So the moment I don't have my pets, I'm going to shut down. And if I'm honest, I'm probably going to go into a very dark place. And all of my energy is going to be into not being suicidal so that you guys don't do welfare checks on me. So I don't want to live in a world that has pushed me to the point where I have to rehome my pets. I don't want to strive for longevity and a future in a world that has done that to me. Because I'm never going to recover from that pain, and I'm never going to fucking forgive you guys for it. So the only way that I'm going to be able to keep fighting is if I can figure out a way to not get rid of my pets, if I can figure out of a way to actually take care of myself. And I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. It's like I'm at this crossroad where I need to just get up and give everything I have or lay down and die. And I don't have anything to give. Anything. I don't have any fight. I don't know what to do.